This is the story of three men and the creepy and chilling mysteries they left behind while watching over the seas. This is the story of the missing lighthouse keepers of the Flannan Isles. In the late hours of the night on December 15th, 1990, a transatlantic steamer, the Arctur, was making a voyage to the port of Leith from Philadelphia when they happened to pass by the Flannan Isles and noticed the lighthouse there was not lit up. After they arrived in Flannan, they alerted the Northern Lighthouse Board that something was going on, which prompted the relief ship, the Hesperus, to be dispatched to the lighthouse to investigate. Boxing Day rolled around, and as the captain, Jim Harvey, fired a flare-up and sounded the horn to signal the lighthouse keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and William MacArthur, there was no response. Seeing no visible answer, a member of the crew, Joseph Moore, decided to disembark and investigate the building itself. And walking into the living quarters, he was met with far more questions than answers. The dining table had been set for a meal that wasn't eaten, a chair had been flipped over, the clock had stopped, and the only sign of life in sight was a caged-up canary. After reporting his findings to the captain, more crew members were told to head up to the lighthouse to look for any signs of life alongside Moore. Further searching revealed nothing but a set of oilskins, which implied that one of the keepers had ventured out in just his shirt sleeves. The more important discovery was on the west side of the island, where a platform over 100 feet above sea level appeared as though it had been ripped apart by some kind of violent storm. Supply crates were smashed, railcart tracks were torn from their place in the ground, and iron bars were warped and mangled. The three lighthouse keepers were nowhere to be found. After Harvey had left Moore and the two sailors behind to tend to the lighthouse, they scoured the entirety of the islands, but still had no luck in locating the keepers. Of course, rumor began to circulate on what could have happened to these poor souls, and after the head of the board, Robert Murhead, confirmed the oilskins had belonged to MacArthur, this is what he could best sum up. They went down in the early morning to procure something at a rock face about 110 feet above sea level, when a massive wave swept them all out to the ocean. Of course, that wasn't a good enough explanation for the general public, and wild speculation began to form, including rumors that still permeate to this day about logbooks that detail the crew slowly plummeting into insanity at the site of the storm. These rumors have spread like wildfire over the years and permeate more than Marshall, Ducat, and MacArthur's names themselves. The logbooks stated have never officially existed. While theories range from murder to ghost ships to the lighthouse keepers leaving on a lifeboat, the most plausible explanation is that after Marshall and Ducat had left to secure the supplies on the West Landing, they were swept up by the sea. After MacArthur had noticed they had failed to return, he went off looking for them, and he was lost to the storm as well. As for why they decided to head out in such dangerous conditions, Marshall had previously been fined 5 shillings for losing his equipment in a previous storm, and in 1900, this was no small amount of money, hence why securing the West Landing was the more important thought on hand, rather than his own health and safety. Of course, though, this is just mere conjecture, as to this day, no proper explanation for the men's disappearances has ever been provided.